This is 4-5, direct variation. A direct variation is a special type of linear relationship that is written in the form y equals kx. We see that y varies directly as x, with k being the constant of variation. So we're going to see if each equation represents a direct variation in example 1. So y equals 4x, since that can be written in the form y equals kx, with k being 4 in this case, then this is a direct variation. My constant of variation is 4. Okay, in my next equation, I need to isolate y always first to see if we can write this in the form y equals kx. So to get y by itself, I need to get this negative 3x out of here. I can just move it to the opposite side and it becomes the opposite sign, 3x. Or I can go through the proper steps and add 3x to both sides, so it cancels on the left. I get 5y equals 0 plus 3x, which is this 3x. And then to finalize the isolating of y is being multiplied by 5 right now, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And so y equals 3 over 5x. So tell whether it represents a direct variation. Yes, it does, because it can be written in the form y equals kx. And identify the constant of variation. K equals 3 over 5. So this is the constant of variation. 3 over 5 is the constant of variation. In example C, 2x plus y equals 10. We're going to isolate y. So remember, you can move the x by doing the opposite sign, so it would be y equals negative 2x plus 10. Or I can subtract 2x from both sides to show that. Y equals, I'm going to write the x first, so negative 2x, and that's a positive 10, so plus 10. Remember, you can't add these because they're not like terms. That's a mistake I've been seeing a lot of you try to make. So y equals negative 2x plus 10, so this is written in the form y equals mx plus b. It's not y equals kx because there's this additional thing being added or subtracted to it. This plus 10 ruins this. It's not a direct variation. So it does not have a constant of variation. Okay, tell whether each equation is a direct variation and explain. So with the table of values, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to check every y over x for the table of values. So negative 10 over 2.5. And we're going to see if it's equal to negative 20 over 7 and see if that's equal to negative 30 over 7.5. So I'm simplifying each of these now because what this y over x is it's really determining what the k equals. And I'm trying to see if these all have the same k, the same constant of variation. So these do not have the same constant of variation. So our answer is no. The constant of variation is not the same. So y cannot vary directly with x. Okay, let's check example B. So I'm going to do y over x again for all of these. So 6 over 1 equals 18 over 3, which equals 30 over 5. And so I'm going to simplify each of these. I get 6, 6, and 6. And so is this a direct variation? Yes. The constant of variation, or k in this case, equals 6. Let's do it for the example C. Y over x again. So 5 over negative 2. We're going to see if that equals 3 over 1. I should go back and put not equal to for the first one. equals 3 over 1, which equals 1 over 4. So I get negative 2.5, positive 3, and 0.25. And so this one is a no. The constant of variation is not the same. To graph a direct variation, we're always going to start at 0, 0. And then you're going to use the k, the 3/5, to move up 3 units and right 5 units. Because this is rise over run. And since it was positive, it's going to go up. And since we're running positive 5, it would be to the right. So I'm going to go up 3 and over 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can connect these points. Those were the steps, step 1, 2, and 3 on the right. And I like to write the equation off to the side so I know what that's representing. Okay, so this wants us to write a direct variation equation. We need to find out what k is in order to write a direct variation equation. So this is what we do. We start with our formula, y equals kx. It says the value of y varies directly with x, and y is negative 10 when x is 8. So y is negative 10 when x is 8. Now what you do, that's step 1. Step 2 is you solve for k. So I'm just going to move this over. We get negative 10 equals 8k, divide both sides by 8, and k will be equal to, divide by 2, we get negative 5 over 4. Step 3, use k and x equals 14 to find y. So we're going to use y equals negative 5/4, my k, times the x value of 14. Y equals 17.5. So for the equation, what that was y equals negative 5/4 x. Once you find the k, you can write your equation. As y equals kx, you only plug in the k. And then what y equaled was 17.5. Here's another one. The value of y varies directly with x, and y equals 5/8 when x is 1/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my formula, y equals kx. I'm going to plug in the y and the x, so 5/8 equals k times 1/8. I'm going to solve for k by dividing both sides by 1/8. I get that k equals 5. And so my equation would be y equals 5x. We just put in the k only. And now it says to find x when y is 30. So if I have my y equals 5x equation from here, then I'm going to plug in my y. 30 equals 5x, divide both sides by 5, and so I know that x equals 6. The income earned at a local fast food restaurant varies directly as the number of hours. The restaurant earned $9,000 in a 4-hour period. Okay, we need to remember that time is x, and so our total earned would be our y. So I'm going to write a y equals kx equation. I need to figure out what k is. So I'm going to plug in 9,000 equals k times 4. Divide both sides by 4. 2,250 is equal to k. So my direct variation would be the total income, or Y, is equal to 2,250. Normally we'd write X, but in this case they want us to put the time hours. So to graph this, remember we begin at 0, 0, and we're going to go up 2,250 and over 1 per hour. So our total income, this one is our hours, and this is our income. And I can count up by 1,000. Right, so in 1 hour it's going to be 2,250. In 2 hours it will be double that, so 4,500. And we can connect this to make our line. I just forgot my 0, 0, so let me add that in. Estimate how many hours it would take the restaurant to earn 20,250. So I can actually plug that right into my equation, into the income spot. 20,250 is equal to 2,250 H. Divide both sides by 2250. And that would get you H equals 9, so 9 hours.